What's up everybody, Mango Talks Tech here, and today I'm going to be talking about these four mouse pads by Lethal Gaming Gear. We got the Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury, and today we're going to find out which one's worth buying. They were kind enough to send these out for a review, but keep in mind it's not going to affect my review, and I'm going to keep it real with you. With that being said, let's first do a quick unboxing of these mouse pads. As I unbox the mouse pads behind me, I do want to quickly shout out the box art. It's very nice and aesthetically pleasing. The mouse pads themselves come rolled up in the boxes, not too tight nor too loose, so when you lay them flat on your desk, they won't be warped too much, and any warping will fix itself in like maybe 6-ish hours or so. The other thing to mention is that they do smell like tennis balls right out of the box, and it'll take maybe 12-ish to 24-ish hours to fully degas. Once that's done, you're ready to rock and roll. Here in front of me are the four mouse pads. We have Lethal Gaming Gear's Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, and Mercury. With that being said, quick comment to mention beforehand: mouse weight and the feet of the mice do have an impact on the feel of these mouse pads. I did do most of my reviewing with the final mouse, but I did try the G303 G Pro Wireless, several other mice as well. The other comment to make is that I did wear an athletic arm sleeve throughout my experience with these four mice pads. Super underrated. I think that at first I thought it was a gimmick, but once I tried it myself, it definitely feels significantly more consistent when using these mouse pads, and it makes it a far more enjoyable experience, especially for longer gaming sessions that are like over 2+ hours. Let's start off with the Lethal Gaming Gear Jupiter. The X and the Y axis of these are not symmetrical, but it's like a 5% difference. There is a little bit of a grain in this fabric. It's like a neoprene-esque material, and you'll see that the X does feel faster rather than the Y. The Y, it does feel like it has a little bit of resistance. Now, in reality, when you're using the mouse pad, you do not feel it at all. But when you're like, lightly caressing the mouse pad with your mouse, you're going to feel it. Dynamic and static friction, this is where things get a little funky. So what do I mean by dynamic and static friction in this context? Well, dynamic friction is basically the resistance you will feel when you're moving the mouse around on the fabric. In comparison, static friction is basically the resistance one would feel when they're moving the mouse from rest and then swiping left, right, up or down, etc. If you're enjoying the video so far, hit the like button, subscribe button down below. Also, use code MANGO at checkout. And with that, let's get back to the review. The static friction on this mouse pad is relatively low. You want to move the mouse, it'll move fast. Dynamic friction, it stops when you want it to stop. Now, why is it not perfect though? In my experience, though it has that interesting balance between slow and fast, I think the material it doesn't work for tactical FPS shooters. It feels like you're moving fast, but not fast enough in the situations where you need to flick and click ahead. Rather, this feels like it's more optimal for tracking-oriented games like Warzone and Apex, where you're able to have a little more forgiveness when you're flicking and trying to get on someone's head. So that's where I believe that this mouse excels. It's in tracking experiences. This is Lethal Gaming Gear's slowest mouse pad, but honestly, it's not a slow pad. It's not even a mud pad, but rather it's like a controlled speed pad intended for gamers who are playing tracking-oriented games. Let's now move on to the next mouse pad. This is the Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn, and honestly, it's in the contender for being my favorite. Why is that? This is an Artisan Zero alternative. It is not the same as an Artisan Zero, but it gets very close at a fantastic price. At $30, you really cannot go wrong with this. Is there any problems with the mousepad? Yeah, just one little nitpick, and then we'll go into why this is an awesome mousepad. And that is the edges of my version of the mousepad did come frayed. Of the four mousepads, it was the only one to have that issue. But outside of that, the surface of this mousepad is meant to be a control medium speed mousepad, and I totally agree with that. The X and Y is perfect on this mousepad, as well as the Venus and the Mercury. Just want to get that out of the way right now. Static and the dynamic friction are relatively balanced, so the amount of energy required to move the mouse and stop the mouse feel very symmetrical, and I think that's why this is such a popular mousepad. That balance between being able to move and stop the mouse, it's very solid. And hell, you don't even need to hear from me. There's literally pro players, like Team Liquid's Elige and OC, who were using this mousepad at IEM Cologne 22. That was a huge $1 million tournament for CSGO, and those guys were using this mousepad, so it's freaking legit. And my experience says the same. I really enjoy the speed of the mousepad. It feels very versatile and usable for all genres of FPS or games in general, and would definitely say that this is a universal recommendation, hands down. You want to upgrade your cloth mousepad? Don't even think twice, just pick this up. You're gonna really enjoy it. With that being said, I do want to talk about the Lethal Gaming Gear Venus. This mousepad is honestly my favorite hybrid mousepad to date. I have tried a lot of hybrid mouse pads, including Razer Strider, Rockat's Mousepad as well. And honestly, this is just the perfect blend of having that speed and control. The static friction is a little quicker than the dynamic friction, so you are able to move the mouse faster than you're able to stop it. But it's still to an extent where it's manageable for FPS games that are tactical. So CSGO and Valorant, it's very viable. Tracking games like Warzone and Apex, you can still use it, you'll love it. So this is honestly a universal recommendation as well, as I do believe that this mousepad will do you really well regardless of the genre of FPS that you're playing. For that reason, I say that this is solid. So if you're someone coming from a cloth mousepad and want to try something new, go ahead and pick this up. You will enjoy it. I can definitely guarantee that. And that leads us to the last mousepad. This is Lethal Gaming Gear's other hybrid mousepad, the Mercury. This mousepad's feel is a little rougher than the Venus. It feels like jeans, honestly. This is a very nice hybrid mousepad, and it is in that fast speed realm of the Razer Strider and the Roccat hybrid mousepad, but it still has a good amount of control. It has a lower static friction than the Venus, and the dynamic friction is also a little less than the Venus, but where this shines is in tracking focused FPS games. So for example, Apex Legends, Warzone, that's where this will shine and you will really enjoy it. If you want to buy this as a universal FPS shooter mousepad, you will need a little bit more time to get used to, especially since micro adjusting on this is a pain. Like, you know, like I'm stopping the mouse and I'm showing you, like, legitimately that's the micro like jittering that I just get when I move the mousepad. It takes a lot more like muscle memory to refine your movements with this mousepad. Once you do master it, you will enjoy it, hands down, but it just is a runner-up in my opinion to the Venus. So which ones do I recommend? Honestly, Lethal Gaming Gear's Saturn, this is a fantastic control mousepad. It really does stick true to the medium name. I think that it has a very nice balance between static, dynamic friction. It feels very close to that of the Artisan Zero, and the craftsmanship is top-notch. So this is definitely a must-buy. The next one I recommend is LGG Venus. This mousepad is for those who want a little bit more speed than the Saturn, but not too much to where they are just not able to get their shots. This is a very nice hybrid mousepad and one I believe is a great entry into the world of hybrid mousepads. That leaves us with the other two, the Jupiter and the Mercury. Do I recommend those? Yes, but they are a little bit more niche. The LGG Jupiter, honestly, it's 15 bucks on their website right now. For that price, pick it up, try it out. This material is very different, it's unique, and I honestly enjoy it. It's not the one I would main though. That leaves us with the Mercury. And honestly, this one, again, very fast mousepad. It's for those who have tried out the Razer Strider or Rockat's hybrid mousepad. This is in that realm of speed. It's very nice. For the money, it's definitely worth it if this is what you're looking for. For the general public, I do think that this might be a little too fast. Anyone can adapt to it. It's just going to take a little bit of learning. But once you do, you will have a good time. In conclusion, if you do want to check out any of these mouse pads, use code MANGO at checkout on Lethal Gaming Gear's website. Hit the like button, subscribe, and if you enjoy this, click the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video.